Yeah. So I hope you will find me in the new one. Did you find me? It was buffering, and I'm not filming with a computer or something, so it's just my phone. And when it's buffering, I cannot do anything. So that's sad. Huh. Bummer. So I hope... Yeah, thank you, Clara. Clara says, I will repeat my question. Do you get each pattern individually, or do you have a master set for your DMC and Royal Broderie? The 3 for my children I have kitted separately, and Kingdom, because I see them each week. All my other whips are just stitched from my master set, that's a Royal Broderie floss. And this is a kit from Pain Free Crafts, so that means it was kitted by them. But normally I don't kit. Except for the ones I did in the beginning. So, but otherwise I always stitch from my master set. Yes, thank you to come back. Susan, Allison, and Mayochia. It's, yeah, like I said, it's weird. It's buffering, and then it's freezing, and then you can't do anything. Yeah. But do you have a color? Yeah, I did. 986, that was it. Hi, Marcia. Welcome. Are you still on your cruise? See, that's weird, eh? On her cruise, Marcia has Wi-Fi, and I, in my hospital, I don't have it. My master set. No, I do not bobinate. I showed it before. It's just like floss cards with rings. So it's just like this. So I bought this from Etsy, these cards, and then laminated them, made the holes in it, and you can then have 2 large rings here in each end, and then you can open it as a book and pull out your floss. So yeah. And then I have an extra box, but that's for my leftovers of my skin, because here I put like 6 threads of it from 50 centimeter, and the leftovers go into the box. So yeah. Yes, it's my I think it's my Wi-Fi. I don't know why. Renee says we're back. Yes. Marsha says I'm still away, about halfway through now. Wow. But I think it's a wonderful experience. Yeah, you're welcome, Clara. I just make my life easy as it's possible. So I'm still stitching with 986. And I also use only one needle. I know Yugi is using her, does she call it? Her needle board. I don't have it. So it's only one ballpoint needle and that's it. Those are already expensive, so... And I know Susan said you can use other needles, but I don't want to. So I'm sticking with one needle. And mostly, like when I switch whips, take my needle minder off, put my needle on it, and take my needle to the next whip. So it's even not switching a needle for whip, it's just taking my needle everywhere. Until I lose it. So yeah. Or when it's like not smooth anymore. Yeah, it's easier. I'm used to that, so. But then when I go to the hospital, I had some days that I forgot my scissors, my pair of scissors, or I forgot my needle. And I'm thinking, how can you stitch without that? So yeah, also done that. She says I do that too, but I keep bunches of cheap needles for like that one stitch or two. Yeah, but I also have different flosses, so then I need to have then 3 needle boards. Plus, I don't have the space. I wouldn't know where where I need to put that one. I don't have a desk here. It's just a seat, my tablet, and the drink. That's it. And the hanging wall. Catherine says, I'm stitching in all the awful ninja stitches. So tedious and slow. Yep. Susan says, I don't use the good needle if I'm traveling. Yeah, I can understand that too. And Catherine says, I have to go pick up my university kit. Yes! Thank you for being here and enjoy your day. And drive safe, of course. Renee says, there are needles at hospital for stitching people up and also scissors for cutting bandages. I would borrow those, sterilized, of course. Yes. They would watch me, I guess. Well, one day I took Wildlife Predator with me. And I went into I would say the bar of the hospital, but it's not really a bar. Where you can eat and drink something. So it's like the restaurant. And I was sitting there with the Wildlife Predator. And everyone was looking at me like, she's weird. You have to know, in Belgium, there are not like a lot of stitchers. So when they see one, it's like, yeah, you're a ghost, I think. You're a weirdo. Yeah, that's probably the thing. And there was one old senior man who he came next to me and he said, can I see what you are doing and how it will look? So I showed him the cover photo and what I already had. And he said, wow, that's work for a long term or long period. And I said, yes, it is. So, yeah, that was fun. Fun experience. But then others are like sitting next to you and looking for what you are doing. And then the cleaning lady came and she was cleaning the tables and she said, oh, I will not touch your stuff. I'm just here, the other in front of me, the other side. I'm just doing it here. I will not touch anything. But can I see what you are doing? So that was also a nice thing. It was fun to take it, but the large frame as travel piece didn't work in one hand for me. So that was a side effect. And not that only, I had my tablet with me because my chart was on it. Then the tablet couldn't stand because I didn't have a cover on it, so a backflip cover. So I was like frustrated. So I missed my library stand, I missed my stuff. But yeah. Then I did 150 stitches in 1 hour and a half, so not that bad. I think cross-stitching in Belgium is not that known as in other countries. We have some needle shops, of course, local needle shops. Not a lot. When they're open one, there's another one closing. So, yeah, they come and go, but I don't know. Even if we go to an, what is it called? A fair where you can see a hobby fair. There will be maybe 1 or 2 stands for cross stitch, and all the other stands will be about something else. Renee says, I'm trying out a new table stand today. It's the EZ Stitch one. So far so good. It will sit on my desk. Wow. Susan says probably more bobbin lace. No, even not that. That's also something that's going away here. Bobbin lace. Before we had some shops in Bruges where you could buy lace, but the making lace, it's also, yeah, extinction. Threats of extinction. I did start a course for making lace when I was, 20, yeah, when I was 20 years old. I started to do a course, and I did 1 year. Yeah, I did 1 year, but they use colors in it to draw the movements you have to do. So each movement has a color. But then, yeah, I had not the best teacher, and I said okay. And then I had then my oldest son, so then I couldn't go anymore. But yeah, I did some. So this I do bobbin lace. My first piece was a brooch type. Whoa. Oh yeah, they do. The patterns have universal color codes for bobbin lace patterns. Yeah, I only had that from the course, of course. So I never saw a pattern in a book. And I wouldn't. It was a basic lace. I don't know what it is in English. I know it in Dutch, but in English, no. And then you had korte eddo. Yeah, see, torchen. In Dutch, it's called stropkant basis. And then you had other directions like korte latti. What were the others? next step voor stopkantbasis. So, ja. Ja, dan is torsion. If that's the basic style. So that I did. But it's like 12 years ago. I wouldn't do anymore. Ah, yeah, French, yes. Torsion is French for rag or something, from what I remember. Oh. Do you know Cortellati? Yeah, the steps even know the steps in English. I also did Withoff Duchess. She's finished. That's great. There is another floss tuber. Ellie Valley Stitcher. Was it Ellie Valley? She's making lace herself too. She's stitching a lady who is making lace, and she's also doing lace. So sometimes she shows her whips of lace too. It's really beautiful. Then I'm like, why I had to stop. But yeah. But like they can make a fair of all other stuff. Mostly is crochet, knitting. Normally it works again. We will see. Then I found my mistake. Yeah. Apparently I had too much apps open on my phone. So I think that was the issue. We will see. I hope it stays now. Yeah. That was the issue. We will. Mag nog koffie? I think so. I'm not certain of that. I am not used to close all the applications that I open on my phone. So now I found out there was a lot open. I closed them all. Then I reopened YouTube, and then it said you can resume your chat. Your live stream chat. So I was like, huh? So maybe that was the issue. I don't know. I'm only guessing. We will see. And I need to make sure the next time I don't have anything open. If that was it. I don't know. We were talking about lace, but yeah. My color was finished. Yep. So the next color is 930. It's not really a mistake. It's just not knowing. So this is 930. Not green. Yeah. I think it's maybe the memory, the cache memory. I don't know, or the working memory that is too much, and then it cannot do the internet thing. I'm not a technician. Today it was fun. My daughter was struggling with her French. She had to do the passé composé, so a tense in French. And she was shouting at me, really shouting, as I don't understand it. And I said to her, I will explain it to you. Come to me. And then my husband was like, I don't understand it. And I said, I don't understand anything of your technician stuff. So languages are my stuff, technician things are your stuff. If he starts to chat with my oldest son about all the technical stuff he is learning about, I'm like, I'm lost. So, yeah, languages, they can come to me, but for the other stuff, they need to go to him. And math I can do, of course, too. But, yeah, it was really funny. And then my daughter went to the kitchen, and then she came back and she said, I asked my dad, what is l'église? And I said, it's a church. And she said, yeah, he had to Google it. I had forgotten it, and he had to Google it. So I was like, yeah. Siske Stitches says, how many languages do you know? Well, I did languages at school. So I had French, of course, Dutch, Latin, Greek, German a bit, not as much as French and English. But English was more reading English literature. So not really the speaking of the language, but really the literature. So, and French the same. Studying all the sorts of authors and that stuff. But yeah, then I did on Wednesday afternoons extra classes for Spanish. Thinking I forgot what. So Latin, ancient Greek, Latin. And ancient Greek, the first thing you have to do is learning to write the alphabet, of course. So that I did for 2 years. Then I had 6 years of Latin. Yeah, English, French, German, 2 years. And Spanish, I did 1 year at Wednesday's afternoon. But the second year was cancelled because there was not enough interest in it. So that was another school. Because some of my students got Spanish, and I couldn't do that next to my Greek. So I had to choose between Greek and Spanish. And I wanted to learn some Spanish too. So I did another school for that. Yeah, and now I'm doing like Italian with Duolingo, the app. But that's just too easy for now. So yeah. And I tried there to continue with my Spanish on Duolingo, the app. But there I have like level, was it 10 already? And my son said, oh, that's a lot. You have it you have it too easy. You learn too fast. So yeah. It's not perfect, I know, but I still learn. probably mark them. Yeah. So I had great numbers for maths, physics. Was it physical? Hi, Rajul, welcome. Physics? I think, yeah, it's probably physics as course. So, yeah. The thing is, because I have seen 2 years of Greek and 6 years of Latin, I can see more the source of the words. So I can find other words because I studied Latin. For Stitches, it says, that's amazing for languages. I took French in school, worked where most people spoke in Spanish and English, also learned American Sign Language. Wow, that's also amazing. That's something I didn't learn. And Susan says, I can only speak 2 languages. Yeah, I can understand more than answering. So I can read it. I can understand it. Like I can read a German article. Yeah, I don't know if I could answer. It's a long time I have seen it. Yeah, I already stitched that. There was something I did. There was something I had to. I tried the app Duolingo with Spanish. So it was 18 years that I have seen a word of Spanish. So then I had to do a test to see which level I had for the app. And a lot of them I still remembered. If I saw the words, I still remembered, oh, that was that and that was that. And yeah. And my son said, how do you know all that? And I said, I studied. He didn't believe me, I studied. Yeah, it was true. Lizzie says, I can only speak 1 language. And Susan says, I took Spanish, French, and Chinese, but can't really speak them. Yeah, the first year in Spanish was to ask where, to order a drink, to ask the road, where can I go to, or where can I find the church, for example. So that was the first course. Fruits, easy stuff. And Susan says, I can't write in Swedish very well, but I understand and speak it and can speak it fine. Yeah. See? Susan says also, when Duolingo came out, I thought, oh, I can work on my Swedish, so it will be better. I took the test, it put me at the top, so it didn't help. Oh, that and yeah, that it really didn't help. And Janine says, hi Siske, not sure how long you will be on, but have to go grocery shopping after I pick up hubby, but I will be back and see. Well, I want to have 535 stitches. I'm only at 81 and it's 9:50 almost. So we will see. I think you will be back. So yeah, I'm not bragging about languages. I just can read them better than speak them. And to learn languages, you have to use them. I learned the most English, and you will not believe me, from other people who cross stitch. Because I was in the cross stitch game, I did the prompting, then I didn't know what I had a lot up, and that's where I learned a lot. Susan says it's really awesome that you are good at it. Yeah, I try. And Janine says, I wish I knew more than just English. It's so hard to learn new languages when you're old like me. Lol, not old, Janine. You are a classic. Susan says, I learned Swedish when I was nearly 40. Yeah, I think it's harder, not only languages. When you are getting older, when you're getting a classic, it's harder to study, I guess. First Stitches says, yes, you have to use it or lose it when it comes to languages. Yeah. Even reading books, listen, like audiobooks, I use only Dutch for now because I'm a bit scared. I cannot follow all the details in English books. And from a book, I want to know all the details. So, oh, Chris says, exactly. I studied Indonesian and Malaysian, and when I went to Indonesia, that was the best school. I lived there for a year and I learned so much. Yeah, it is. It's true. I didn't went to America, but yeah, the cross stitch community helped me. I had a lot of people in the beginning that they were getting to know me saying, "Oh, your English is terrible. I don't understand you." And like it's now 8 years I'm doing cross stitch games online, and this is helping. I will not know the big words, of course. The basic I will know, but like really literature words, I don't think so. Susan says, really is the best way to learn is to be there immersed in it. Yeah. And Chris says, I admire non-native speakers who do live streaming like you, Siske. Yeah, some people stay out of it because I do not speak it fluent. I even had comments on my FlossTube channel that wasn't the best English, of course. No, not again. My new position at work is working very closely with our housekeeping department, and 90% only speak Spanish, so I have to use Google Translate a lot. Yeah. I think, yeah, that's difficult. Chris says, but you are understandable, that's most important. Are we still live? Because I see the circle of doom. And then Susan also says, honestly, they are jealous that you can speak more languages. I don't know. Yeah, then it's good. I'm missing some. blocks here. Oh, I forgot to mark off some stitches. So first I do read that. Yeah, that's better. Ah, it was my TV then. Sometimes it happens too with the TV. Where was my color now? Here. The W, I guess. 9:30. I need to check it. Otherwise I will stitch the wrong color. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I need to check. Yeah, it was 9:30. Susan says, here in Sweden everyone nearly speaks English of some sort. That's nice. Clara says there are many people who are not mindful of what they say. And Susan also says kids learn it a second year. Wow. Bye, Chris. Have a nice evening. Thank you for being here. Ah, yeah. And Susan is offering help as usual. She's great. That's another thing we have here in the cross stitch community. Help. If you do not know any something, you can just ask and you get help. So that's really nice. Susan says Alex's class started earlier since he was speaking so much English in school. Wow. That's great. Magnificent work. They had to learn how to say stop when he was doing things. Oh. The kids loved it. They loved speaking English with him. Yeah. But I also think children are easier in communication, even if they wouldn't know what he was saying, but they did, but even if, then they could use body language to explain. Ah, yeah, see, body language, yeah, because he wasn't verbal, yes. Yeah. And did you know why he couldn't speak? My neighbor across the street has a child, a boy. He's like 8 years old now, and he still doesn't speak. He makes noises, but he cannot say a word. They did a lot of tests and nothing. They didn't find anything medical. From scans to other things. Susan says he did sign a lot, and it was so funny he figured out how to use the alphabet in signing to spell loud words. Yeah. Hi Mandy, welcome. Was that the reason he got that non-verbal thing the bad reaction on that shot. Whoa. So maybe it happened across the street too. Did he had other things as symptoms? Hi, Lady Hawk. Welcome. Now they are saying he has behavior problems. The boy, yeah, across the street. He has behavior problems and he is autistical and all that stuff. But he still cannot speak. He even goes to a special school. 336. Yeah, he talked before. Okay, yeah. That boy only makes noises. He never talked. It's so sad to see. His older sister is also taking care of him a lot. But yeah, it's hard to see. Elaba, nee. Students said, so they said speech issues aren't typical for autism, so his diagnosis is unspecified developmental delay. Yeah. Lady Hawk says some very autistic children are non-verbal. Really? I had one of my friends at school was autistical, but he was perfectly fine. He could study a lot. Yeah, maybe the behavior was others, but from intelligence he was great. Student says he talks now, but it's still very odd when he speaks. Yeah, at least he talks now. Yeah. There are some steps ahead. Small steps, big miles. Oh, Susan says, I can't believe he will be 18 on Saturday. Wow. Congratulations and happy birthday. Early birthday, but congratulations. And Mandy says, yep, my grandson is non-verbal autistic and my son is autistic, struggles with social cues and delayed. Yeah. Yeah. I know I was ill at the time when I was in high school. I had glandular fever. And I was a long time off school. I was just sleeping. Weeks. I'm not talking about days, but weeks. And one day I got a phone call from his mother asking me, can you please go to school because with his autism it's difficult. So I was still sick and I went to school for a half day and then it was for him better because he couldn't, how would say, he he couldn't have it, that something was off in his structure. So he was used that I was in school all the time with him in each pause. So in each break, we were together eating or whatever we were doing, studying. But when I went out because I was sick, yeah, that was a big issue. So yeah, I did go earlier to school because of him, to help him, but yeah. Lizzie says, I have two autistic siblings. And do they also need the structure of the day? So if something happens that wasn't predictable, then they are off, out of order. Susan says, oh, that's sad. And Alex is very flexible. That's a great thing, I think. And Mandy says, my boy hates change. Yeah. And Lady Hawk says, our oldest son has Asperger's syndrome. He has a hard time reading social cues. Oh, okay. And Lizzie says, yes, they do. My older brother especially hates change. So yeah, the mother of him at home, yeah, she couldn't do anything with him. So he went earlier back to school to help out. And now schoolmates or classmates always thought we would be a couple. And it didn't happen. Of course. I have a coffee with me. Yeah. I still see him as a friend, even he abandoned me when I was married, of course. Susan says, Alex is so go with the flow, often though we don't tell him ahead of time, so he doesn't worry about it happening. Like he knows his birthday is Saturday, so he probably started talking about it a month ago. It's more about not understanding the time. Oh. Sharon says, I have autism. I can function throughout the whole day like a normal person, but at the end of the day, I'm literally obliterated and can't talk to people anymore. Oh. So there are not difficult, there are different sorts of autism, if I understand this correctly. I'm learning. This is 702. Take it that way, and it will not slip. Yeah, we all want to be healthy. That's one thing you cannot buy. Like time, another thing. Time and health. Susan says his medicine has made him get angry lately, so his teachers are super surprised. Yes, I can imagine. So, like, what's happening? And for those teachers, I think it's difficult. What? To handle sometimes. Heb je niet Rea gevraagd? Sky. Come, yeah. Sky. I think she wants her bone. She's used to get her bone each evening. So, yeah, Sharon says many people think and say that people with autism can't do work and function, but many do. Like I'm a dialysis nurse at the hospital, and that's a really difficult job. So many ways to go. Yeah, great achievement. And Lizzie says, I'm not autistic, but I cannot take crowds and the noise of crowds, and I dislike change. I have downloaded an app to my phone called Structured. My daughter also cannot have changes. Hi, Maddie. Welcome. Susan says, I do wish it was different for him. I know a lot of people think that if they have autism that they don't want a cure, but he struggled so much over the years. I would take a cure without a doubt. Yeah, I think everyone. I'm mocking a bit of. Yeah, I think it's if we could buy a cure. She says for him it's not just being quirky, he can't eat certain things because the reaction hurt him. Oh, that's... Yeah. I cannot imagine how it is like that. Mandy says, I'm Silver, I'm the same. I think illness make us like this, especially chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. People just don't get the pain and fatigue. It's a struggle daily. Yeah, but the teacher of my daughter also said it in class. People want to see something on your body when you are sick. So if it's not visible at your body, it's not there. You're not sick. You know? So if you have a wound, you have a cut, yeah, you can see it. If you have a broken arm, you can see it. So there's something wrong. But when it's inside your body, people don't believe it because they cannot see it. So that's how brains function apparently. She says it would also be nice not to have to watch baby videos he likes. Yeah. Sharon says, I think dealing with changes is one of the main common things in autism, but you can learn to comprehend when you get older with the right help. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I knew I took out the thread. She says it's similar to people not understanding like why people might not speak perfectly. Yeah. They have no idea how it is for another person, no empathy, so they just label it. Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah, you do not look sick. Yes, it is. But then I'm thinking, if you are in a rating room and you for a psychologist, so you need help to um, you need help to put a trauma of to handle a trauma. So those people are not sick. No, then they are saying they are crazy. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying that, of course. She says what's worse is getting a doctor that doesn't understand chronic pain. Yeah. Sometimes I guess doctors are only there for money. Or it's a stress symptom. Yeah? See, Mandy says, indeed, my doctor just said there's nothing we can give that will help. Yeah. Money. Money will help. For him, not for us. Renee says, I have autoimmune diseases too, and even I myself don't understand them all the time. But I don't like telling people most of the time. They always recommend vitamin this or that. Yeah. And Sue says, I was really lucky. After my heart trauma, I ended up with severe panic attacks and I got help from a behavioral counselor, and it helped more than a therapist. Wow. Some people do understand. I never told this, but when I was 12 years old, I twisted my ankle. So yeah, I got to the hospital. They gave me a bandage, and that was it. It was gedaan. Oh wait. Forrest Stitches says my husband has complex regional pain syndrome from a massive stroke. He has a pain pump and also oral pain meds, but nothing really helps. That's so sad to hear. And Susan says, yeah, I live in so much pain because they are so worried about people abusing drugs that they can't get anything for the pain. Yeah, I heard that before. Susan, a note? I missed something. So I was telling about my foot. So I twisted my foot when I was 12 years old at school, and they brought me to the hospital, examine it, and okay, go home with the bandage, and that's it. You take a bit of rest, and it will be solved. It didn't. I had 5 years, a lot of pain. 5 years. They were saying it was my ligaments. I don't know what's English. They were ripped. And yeah. The last 2 years, when I was 17 years old, I was each 6 months wearing a cast. So for 6 weeks at least. Every time I twisted my ankle, they put another cast on my foot. That was horrible. Each 6 months I was like, oh, here we go again. I had injections in my foot. I had all the stuff. I had a lot of doctors seen. Nobody could help. Until the last one, at the age of almost 18, he said, okay, now I have given you the gel injections. They don't work. So you have the option to get a surgery, but you have to know it's a surgery that's never has been done. You can end up in a wheelchair, and it's a great risk. It's a great risk, but yeah, you have also the risk that is helped, and you can walk. So I said, okay, but I cannot be the next, would say, all the rest of my life, all 6 months in cast. That's not working. So I did the surgery. It was at Easter. Then I had to learn to walk again. So I had first 2 weeks in bed. After 2 weeks, I needed to start walking. So they took new, what is it called? Muscles, like it's muscles from my knee, and they put that in my foot. So they drilled in my bones of my foot, and they made a hole to put those muscles in it and make new ligaments. Of ligaments. I don't know how it's called in English. So they did that. The surgery was successful. And still today, I have an incision of 20 centimeters. That's all fine. It's healed. But I still, if I use my foot, like this is my foot, and then here my ankle, when I'm driving my car, I can have difficulties to push the pedal. So I can drive, but not for hours. So yeah. So see, some doctors are only there for money, and they don't believe you have pain. But that issue of my foot took 5 years to get solved. 5 years. So now back to the chat. The behavior therapist, yeah. Susan says the behavior therapist helped me understand what I could do to help it, not trying to ask me about my feelings. It was actually really interesting. Sharon says, from experience, many co-workers in the hospital, mainly the doctors, are there really for money and not to help. Yep, exactly. And Renee says, you were right about help for pain. They're afraid to prescribe anything that can actually help. And Mahojia says, I have spinal problems. People don't believe me because I'm too young for them to have it. I also have that issue. So, my back issue. My mother has an issue that they say it's genetical, and we did a couple of surgeries on your mother. That didn't work. So why would we help? We tried to help you. So yeah. Susan says, doctor last time said, well, on the bright side, as you get older, the back will start fusing and the pain will start going away. I mean, come on. Yeah, that's really, come on. I injured my back when I was 13, so been living with it nearly 50 years. Yeah. And then you are thinking, I'm thinking also that I go to bed with pain, I woke up with pain, and even in my sleep I have pain. So I would give money to be pain free, but yeah. Renee says, my husband always says it's not their pain, so they don't really care. He's discouraged with his back pain from the compression fracture. Yeah, it gives very poor sleep because you always have pain. Of course. Renee says, I'm so sorry, Susan. I used to suffer back pain too. It's so hard to live with. It is. I can say it from experience. They already predicted to me that I would end up in its wheelchair. So nice. Yeah. Life. Susan says, I had one doctor that had a bad back and she tried to help. They moved this doctor away after a few visits. Really? Because she wants to do something and trying to help effectively. Siske Stitches says, part of the brain that was damaged in my husband's stroke was the pain center. So his brain just sends out pain signals. No! That's horrible. Susan says, I need an operation on my abdominal muscle, but they said I have to lose weight, but I can hardly move. Yeah, that's another thing. For whatever you go to a doctor, they always say you have to lose weight. It's from stress or I can't help you. The most 3 things I heard. Or it will be a lot of money. Yeah. Something. Eat less, move more. Yeah. Was it that simple? She said, I eat better than most people. Yeah. Was it that simple? Catherine says, I finally got a doctor that was helping me and he's moving back to Puerto Rico. I'm sad. Yeah. If he was helping you, of course. You could move with him, but I don't think it's the best idea to do that. But still, it's sad news. Missy. Missy. Oh. Can you hear her purring? It's not Dolly, but it's Missy. Catherine says, I will have to start over. Yeah, sadly. Susan says, they move doctors around here a lot, so you rarely saw the same doctor. I do have a private one, but she has her hands tied about pain meds. Yeah. Forest Stitches says, yes, we have had so many doctors leave out area. Renee says, listen to that motor running. Yeah, she's doing great. Catherine says, so nice to chat. I have to go get my youngest and take him to water polo practice. Wow, that's nice. Have fun. This is Mies, the oldest lady in this house. She was in my Floss2 video today. The one who was gaining weight. Let me see. Her mother was Mrs. 2 pieces. Her mother was a Persian cat. Mies? Uw eten staat daar. Daar is uw eten. Op de kast. Students will watch the Floss2 tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, she's very pretty. Yeah. And Susan says, I got done with the live stream right before you started. Yeah. Oh, that was in fact very timed. Yeah, you know, Susan, I have a husband and sometimes he wants some attention too. So, yeah, then I need to stop listening my audiobook or whatever I'm doing. Sest, that's my time, Sest. 3:30 my time. Easy. Ah, so we live in the same time. That's great. Depends on how school goes for Alex. Yeah. A gap here. Susan says, what time works for you? I'm only back around 4 p.m. Sometimes it's even 4:15, and then I have to do homework with my son, and then they start for food and that stuff. So normally I come back around 7. So yeah, that's already late, I guess. Renee says, I was off in the world shopping. I don't like going out. I like being at home. Yeah, but it's true. Outside is scary. And Renee says, I didn't used to like being home so much, but now I love it. Yeah, see? Yeah. But I think also the pandemic has to do something with being at home and not going out because it's scared. And in my experience, if I go to the market and there's a lot of people there, I get anxious and I want to go out. I cannot have a big crowd anymore. Even in a supermarket, I will not go. I will not enter a supermarket. It's too crowded. So I think, yeah, it's a thing. And I missed here a stitch. Wow, Susan, yesterday we went for 4.5 hours. Wow. Sometimes I think I could do a live stream in the morning. So when I'm coming back from school, then I have until noon to do a live stream. But yeah, then I have people saying, yeah, I cannot be there. So I was doing this one. 517. Didn't think I said that. Bernice says, I hate crowds too. Yeah. And Susan says, I'm lucky the town I live is not huge and people are not really concentrated in one area. Susan says, I think about mornings too, but sometimes I'm hardly alert in the morning. Yeah. And Renee says, I live in a small town too. It's a farm community mostly. Yeah. When my oldest son how is it called? Had his graduation for his primary school. We had to go to school and they had the great idea to put all the parents and the children of that class, so it was 24 children, with all the teachers in one small gym room. So yeah, it was very heavy. Not very heavy. It was very hot outside because of the temperature. It was very hot weather. And all those people were like pushed to each other. And I know it was very hot and I have difficulties with my blood pressure. And I felt I saw the black spots already. I went outside because I couldn't stay in. I wish I would have fainted. If I knew I would have fainted. So I went outside and I was sitting on a bench there, waiting to get some fresh air. And I was like, Amai, that was something. And since that moment, I will never do something again. And this year, I have another graduation of my daughter. So, in the same room. I can only hope it's not too hot that day. But really, also a whole bunch of people in a small room. That's not fun. Susan says during COVID, people went out at the stores. It was fine shopping. Yes, they weren't allowed. Only one person per family. Renee says dairy farms and raspberry, blueberry farms are here. Lots of cows and tractors. Raspberry and blueberries. Num num. And Susan says they stopped doing the younger kids' graduations or end of year celebrations. Kids were still at school the whole time. Restrictions here. Yeah, but I'm talking about 2 years ago. So it was not COVID then. But it's still the ID, the effects. And when I was outside, I was better, but I was so scared that I would faint. Really. Yeah, I'm already now thinking of what will happen this year. So I think they just pretended it wasn't here. Yeah. Before I had my pacemaker put in, I would faint all the time. But it's scary. If you faint, all becomes black. I don't know if you will be back. Renee says, I collapsed at work once and woke up with 8 people standing around me looking down and someone calling an ambulance. Yeah. I saw the black spots. I felt the ground under me like fading, and it was like, I need to go out. And my husband was like, what's happening? So maybe, then I asked my doctor and he said it was because I have a low blood pressure and the combination with the heat, that was not the best thing. That was the reason that I almost fainted. So now I know when it's hot weather, I need to stay inside, stay in a cold room as possible. Yeah, that feeling is really awful, Renee. Susan says the last episode that sent me to the hospital, my heart rate was 32. What? She says, yep, heat is really tough on low blood pressure. Renee says, I have a fib. That's a dangerous number, 32. Susan said, it was a little comical. I called the advice nurse instead of emergency. I nearly died. Yeah, it's awful. But my husband, that moment, got scared too. So this year, I do not know how I will fix that. I cannot stay away from my daughter's graduation. And if I do go, I have a chance to faint. Susan says, oh yeah, they told me not to trust my smartwatch when it said that, so they made me count through my heart rate so they would know what it really was. Clara says, as for me, when I fainted, I swooned and tried to lean against the wall. Because I felt unbalanced, I remember sound disappeared. After that, I don't remember anything. Yeah, I really I can feel your experience. What is an IC, Susan? You get an IC. It's worth it. What's an IC? The advice nurse said the ambulance is coming now. And fainting is horrible, really. Yeah, yep. But I felt it coming. That was weird. I felt that I was going to faint. Ah, air conditioner. Okay. She says, but luckily, since I haven't had any faints since my pacemaker. Yes, that's the best thing. Her niece says, that was the advice, an ambulance. Yeah. To get checked, I guess. In this house, it's not really warm or hot in the summer. Like now, I'm wearing my sweater. And it's like 20 degrees here. So most of the time I have cold. But this morning it was hotter than now. So yeah. This is becoming a medical episode, girls. I should say guys, but yeah. I love medical stuff, but not in having it, but discussing it. Then I learn again. Susan says, all I could think is that Alex would have been alone with me if something happened. Yeah, that's true. My living room gets super warm, even it's not that warm out. I get full afternoon sun. Yeah, the discussions we have on these live streams is interesting. Yep. It's nearly 11. It's nearly 11, so food talk will start anytime now. Oh yes, it is. I need to stitch further. I will not get it done in time. I'm now at 176 stitches. Next color, 912. It's like a bingo evening. 980. No, that's Dinger. Darts. Darts game. 4 stitches says, I will be back. I have... Susan says, where's Yogi and her kale? In her classroom. 4 stitches says, I will be back. Have to go pick up my daughter from school. Drive safely. 4 stitcher. She says, yeah, I haven't stitched at all. Yeah, I can see it. Renee says, I followed some Facebook groups when I was diagnosed with Sjogren's disease, but they were very depressing. Mostly people feeling hopeless, so I stopped following. I wanted just to learn and have info. Yeah. She says that was similar to when I moved to Sweden and the expat groups were super depressing. I left them. It was better that way. Sjogren's. Okay. Sometimes when I talk about my life, I think people. Then it's sometimes depressing for other people too. Ah. How much can a human have in his life? It's very hard for English speakers, really. Sjogren's. No. Susan says most of us have chronic illnesses. Think that's why we understand. Not only about that. I have so much. I would say. How do we want to say it? Yeah, life. Throwing the curveballs with all what's happened. So it's not only about my health. It's all the stuff. Family. The persons we lost. All the stuff. That some people probably say, how can you go through all that stuff? But you have to keep going. Sjogren's. Renee says, yes, people here never know how to pronounce it. My kid can hardly say it, and it's his name. Sjö is lake or sea in Swedish, and gren is branch. Renee says, that's cute. Alex can be Alex like Elvis. One name. Lol. That's true. You don't need 10 names. Of course not. He's Biscuit. Yeah. Now I have 3 first names. That my parents given me. So the first one is Ellen. Then I have the godfather and godmother name, and then my family name. So I have effect 3 first names and 1 last name. But for my children, I said nope. They only get 1 name and 1 last name. My husband also has 3 names and 1 last name. We were like, why do we need all those names? 1 is enough. Sjogren is pretty close anyway. He has so many nicknames, and 1 is the Bikey Boy. Alex has 3 names too. Yeah. Thomas, Robert, Alexander, that's his name. Oh. Renee says, my cousin is named Alexander, and his nickname is Sandy. What? Oh my. And my children were talking about 3 names this weekend, and my oldest son said, "Wow, I'm happy I don't have 3 names. Just one. That's enough." Yeah. Susan says, "I think I wanted to call him Lex or something. His dad was like, no." Yeah. I have picked, 3 names for our children. I picked them myself. And of course, I had a conversation with my husband to see what his thoughts were. But I was like, I'm Carrie Dam. I picked the name. Most. I had a bigger say into it. Sue says he only goes by Alex anyway, but Thomas is his far dad's name. And Robert is after my brother. I wanted to call him that, but no Swedish would say it funny. Ah, yeah. We wanted something that sounds the same in English and Swedish. Yes, you said it before. Yeah. I forgot a lot too. I'm chatty today. I think all women like to chat. Renee says, one of my daughters, Elizabeth, but when she was a teen, she started going by Lizzie. So she is 38 now and still uses Lizzie. What? That's the thing. I tried, and I think I won that. To have names for my children that couldn't be reformed to another name. I one time said to my husband, they called me Ellen, and it would be much nicer if they would have reversed it, so it would be Nelle. I would have heard that, I would have liked that more. So maybe I still do that. Turn it Nelle. Or Nelly. That's also great. Renee says, actually, she will be 38 this year. She's my youngest, too. I'm feeling old. Yeah. You are classic. Yes. I could be your... we would be your children. Susan says, I wanted to go by middle name Irene, but I'm glad I didn't. Now I live in Sweden because it sounds super funny. Yeah. Sometimes I think I will change my name, but then I'll think all the price and all that expensive costs because we have we bought a home, so then we would go back to the, was it? All the documents for the house and all that stuff. So that would be a lot. Renee says, Susan was my stage name when I was young. I was a singer. I went by Renee Suzanne. Yeah, that sounds great. But you can say Susan in English, and you can say it as in Dutch Suzanne. And then you have French, I think, Suzanne. So it's like lower. So you have different ways to pronounce them. Ah, Susan says the way you say it in Dutch is similar to Swedish. I'm pretty used to that now. Oh, Renee, it was my mother's middle name. Okay, that explains it. It could also be a name of your idol that time, a singer. Another Susan. Janine says hello again. No Walmart. I'm confused. Susan says, nice. My middle name was my mom's great aunt's and my great grandmother's middle name. Yeah. To make it easy, yes, Susan? Renee said, I was afraid to use my real name on stage because of crazy people. Susan. Susan says, no Walmart? Who are you? And what did you do with Janine? Janine says Susan was making fun of me saying I was going to Walmart again. Yeah, to pick up your husband, probably. Wasn't it? Not for shopping. When I go, when I bring my husband to the supermarket, I see the supermarket also 2, sometimes 3 times. Yeah. Like today, I didn't have to drive him. He was home. Tomorrow I need to drive more. Susan says they have a saying here for places that have large amounts of hardware. Goop daggers or man's daycare. Oh, that's great. Or a gaming room. That would also be great for them. Or like a man cave. Janine says I hate going to Walmart. Renee says I dislike going to Walmart, but sometimes it's just necessary. If you need food, I guess. Or what do they sell there? I think it's a supermarket. Or is it like all the stuff? You can get everything you want. Even a vacuum cleaner. I'm saying something. What? They say they sell everything? Oh, okay. Renee says it's both supermarket and department store. Wow, that's easy. So if you want a brush, you can get it there. Janine says, which means my husband likes to go down every aisle. Blah. Normally, they say that about women, you know? That we want to see everything in the store, every aisle, everything. Susan says it was more of a department store when I was still in the States. Wow, Renee says, yes, I remember when it was like that, Susan. It was nice back then. And they sell really everything. Cannot imagine how big that store must be. Susan says it was like Target, but little bigger back then. Janine, when it comes to shopping, my husband is like a woman. Oh. Renee says Walmart makes my feet hurt walking all over the place. The good thing is, when you have been there, you have your steps for the day. Probably. And Sue says, when did they start having lots of food there? There are super Walmarts now in some big cities. What? I cannot imagine. I've never been to America. All I know from it is what I have seen on television. Q-Mart of Kmart. So wait. I asked for a vacuum cleaner and a brush, and I didn't ask, but should I ask? Do they sell cross stitch stuff there too? Maybe bad question. A posh part of California. One, two, three. Oh, okay. Now I understand what you are saying. Because really saying one side of Walmart is a department store and the other side is a grocery store. Very little cross stitch. So now I understand what you're saying. My husband wants to see every aisle and I don't. Because there's no cross stitch. If there would be a cross stitch aisle, I think you would run to it. What? Janine says you can get a vacuum cleaner, a brush, a banana, cereal, and they even have tires for cars. Oh, I think I saw someone in the Lady Truckers program. That was insane. There was a lady trucker for the program here in Belgium, and she was driving around in America, and one of those free evenings, she went to a supermarket. I think it was a supermarket, but it had like a lot of floors, and each floor had something else, and they were saying you could buy there everything. So maybe that's a Walmart. Lots of yarn. Janine says, I wish there was a cross-stitch aisle. And now I think they also the lady trucker showered there. Yeah. And there I learned about onion rings. Yes, Susan, we come to the food section. uh, yeah, let's hear. Ella! Our Walmart has fabric, yarn, and some cross-stitch stuff, but not a lot, says Busy Mom. Janine says they do sell some DMC floss, but only like 20 colors. Yeah, but that's perfect. If you are on holiday and you want to stitch something, you just buy some yarn or some floss and you start stitching something colorful. Oh, I did not forgot to like. Silver Stitches is writing code. She say, as Julie says, do not forget to like the live. Yes, thank you. Lots of yarn back then. Wow. Dang, it's after 11 now. Do you need to go to bed, Susan? Or do you want to have chocolate time? Janine says, I love this pattern you are doing. Did you say another company sells an extended chart of it too? Yep. So Stitches So Beautiful is selling this one in a larger version. I was saying in my first part that I had bought that chart of the Stitches So Beautiful, but then I had empty spots in my Pattern Keeper chart, and I got the comment from Valerie that time. She was just in her starting of her business, of course, phase, but she answered me, yeah, then you have to stitch it from paper. So even it was saying on the website of the Etsy shop it works in Pattern Keeper, it didn't. So then Sarah tried to fix it for me, but it didn't work. She also said it wasn't great charted. So yeah, then it was like the end of story for me. And I think a couple months later, I was surprised because Sarah knew of that debacle. And then she charted it. And immediately I bought it, of course. So yeah. I didn't ask her to do that, but she did it. So yeah, and I posted a review of that. Indeed. She says, I remember seeing your review on Etsy when I first found it, and I was like, maybe not. Nope. So I'm still not against Stitches So Beautiful, of course, but I'm like, I need to see it stitched before I will buy it. So I'm more careful in my decisions. And she says, and I got the new pattern from Chris Etsy shop to start now. Which one did you get? I like the black cat one. Hi, Michelle, welcome. Janine says, I don't buy much from Etsy at all because I don't trust the charts would be good. I stick to known companies. Yeah, but that time, Stitches So Beautiful didn't had a shop website of their own yet. So Susie says, I just tried converting 3 of their patterns yesterday and they didn't cover it and they didn't convert, yeah, into Saga. There were issues with symbols, yeah. And they are saying only our products or charts work in Keeper. Oh yeah, I love that one too. The forest friends with the squirrel, the hedgehog, and the owl. Yeah, I visited his shop to look what he was offering. Yeah, and I saw Renee her comment about the rose one. It was the yellow rose, I think. I'm not buying one yet. Like I said, I have issues probably coming up with Raja, so no. Now they do work at Better Keeper. When I bought mine, it didn't. And I think last year something, I got a new mail. So it was like certainly 5 years, I guess. A couple years in between. I got a mail with a new version of my chart I bought all those years ago. But I started this one already. So I left it for what it was. So it was revised. Alex wanted the crab. The crab? Ah, the crab one, yeah. Oh, seafood one. Sharon is asking, how do you convert the patterns into Saga files? Like Susan says, it's Cross Stitch Paradise, and then you have to convert that with that app it to for Saga. Susan says, I have had issues with some patterns from Heaven and Earth converting to Saga because of icons not working. Really? No. And Renee says, I hope you can help Raja. I'm sorry he's hurting again. Me too. And I don't have 800 euros again to leave him there again for 3 days. So that's another thing. And if I need to do that each 2 months, that will not work. And he's still suffering, so he's with my oldest son now in his room. We brought him food, drinks, all the stuff. He refuses everything. If I come near him, he's just hissing, aggressive. So yeah, I cannot do anything. Susan, no calamari. Yeah. But it's like the calamari thing is getting a phobia. If I see now an octopus, I'm thinking of Yogi and I'm saying no. So yeah. Yeah, Renee, I tried to give him painkillers this morning, Raja, and he just was running away, hissing. So I think it must be getting worse before I can do anything. Susan says, I swear I'm going to do the Contessa. And then you will show it each time on Yogi your Facebook group. Shh, I didn't say that. This is a conspiracy. Yeah, I hope so, but... Yeah. Janine says, how old is Raja? I think he was 8. 8 years old. Renee says, one of my daughters had pancreatitis. It was horrible pain she went through. And Forest Stitches says, I'm back. Whose charts are we talking about? First, it was the ones that Cross Stitch Meadow is selling, so Chris. And then we went to Heaven and Earth a bit, and Stitch is so beautiful. Susan says, nah, I'm going to Primrose and Feather from Scarlet Quince, I've decided. Is it another shop? I don't know. And Janine says, oh, it's very young for... Yeah, when I get him to the vet last time, so 2 months ago, first I had to loan. So now I cannot get another one. But she said when I asked her his surviving chances, oh, it's really good. He can relapse. So yeah, I knew he could relapse, but I still took the chance. And then, yeah, he had, according to the vet, he had like multiple years ahead of him. But if he relapses on like each 2 months, that's not the life. So I'm just wishing he's just having a bad day and he will tomorrow be better. Eh? It's wishful thinking probably, but that's what I'm wishing. Ah, patterns. Rachel says, I just got in for my workout. Ah, great. Scarlet Quince. I thought it was a design, a company too. I will be back going to head home from work. Oh, drive safely, busy mom. And yeah, it's young, but like Streepje was... How old was she? 6? She was also not an old cat. And she had liver issues. She had hepatitis. So we couldn't help her anymore even. So I think sometimes you have to be lucky too. Susan said, I tested out a chart from Scarlet Quince yesterday and it goes into Saga with some editing, but Pattern Keeper would have had to enter each color. Oh, that's a lot of work. Michelle says that's a beautiful chart, Susan. And Forest Stitches says, make the rest of us look bad. Rachel, we will just have to stitch faster for our work hours. Our workout probably. Yeah. Susan says, with all the Saga converting, I have noticed that the problem is often the icons I use. Yep, that's true. And Renee says, Scarlet Quince was its own company. That's what I heard of, yeah. But now they went out of business and Pain Free Crafts agreed to sell all their old charts. Really? That's new. I didn't know that. Janine says, I'm not starting it's not starting another project until SSMC Library of Cats comes out. I think we will need to wait long. She has 6 weeks, to get it charted. So from the request, 6 weeks. So Lizzie says, I have a Scarlet Quins. They have their own app, but it's useless. Okay, that's a bummer. I was happy to start that sentence. And Susan says, lots of classic art. I only just found out about them. Oh. Yeah. Apps. The other thing is, we are spoiled. I guess. Spoiled with all the stuff. 807. It's all about shorts. If I buy a chart, it's not only the converting that would worry me, but also the clearness of the chart, so the details. Are the details charted? That stuff. That would bother me. It's two girls at the piano. I think of Jane Bennett and Elizabeth Bennett as children when I look at it. Okay. Blue. I saw Topaz by Alphonse Mucha that was done by Scarlet Quins on Tom Hart's YouTube channel. And it was so pretty. I don't know that chart. Primrose and Feather. Janine says, I did get a chart from Etsy a while ago, and same thing. Every symbol has to be fixed in Patternkeeper. Still haven't finished doing that. Yeah, that's very frustrating. Susan says, I have the Tilton Crafts version of those paintings. Oh. And Rachel says, I was greeted by 5 hungry kitties when I came in from my run. So I have to give them dinner and get a shower. Yes, they need food. Renee says, Golden Kite has some Alphonse M on their site. I think I have a whole wish list there. But have never done a Golden Kite. Yeah, Golden Kite is known about his blends. So apparently they have charts with only solid colors. But the blends version should be better. But then you have to stitch like on a higher count. Some say you can stitch blends on 25 count with 1/1, but one leg in color 1 and the second leg in color 2. I don't know if that will make any help. Of any, I don't know if you would see the difference. But they also have weekly charts that is discounted. I'm in their Facebook group. And there is a system saying that if you buy multiple charts, you have discount, of course. But some people are doing it in a way that they don't pay a lot for their charts. So like buying small charts with them, I don't know yet how they do it. Yeah, they have sales, but like they buy like 2 small charts and one bigger, and then it's like this still cheaper. Susan says, Christina, my friend just bought Stormtroopers and it converted really nice to Paradise, by the way. Okay. I think I have one chart from Golden Kite and this one is with Hostess. Never started it because of the blends. She said, I really can't start anything new. Me too. Even I have a lot of stock of kitted up. And then normally, I said in my Floss to Plus time that I would have started Scruffy Muffin. And I wasn't able to. So it's a really bummer. So now I want to start for his friend. It's only 200 by 200. Yeah. So it starts. It's only that. Until you start stitching. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to stitch the background because I wasn't removing the background wasn't for me, so I was going to stitch the background, so it would only have been 500 stitches in the background. Time, Janine. Time was too fast. I hadn't time to start it. Renee says, I've been starting all the things I need to stop and make progress on some whips. I know. I feel it. It's the same. Saying from someone with 250 whips. Susan says, if I finish Sakura tomorrow, I can start a new project. Yes, go for it. A new finish and a new start. Renee says, I won a free chart from Artisy and started it. It's a Christmas one called Silent Night. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Janine says, and even Anne is having trouble taking the background out of that one. That's why I would just stitch the background. Because it's not only one color, it has like clouds in it. It's a pretty winter scene. Rachel says, I have Fuzzy Wuzzy and I had planned to start it this month. I saw your progress on your video. It's a great chart. All the cats. Yeah, I love cats. Lizzie says, I want to have 26 weeks by the end of this year. Not sure if it's going to happen as I have studies this summer. Oh. Susan says, I was thinking about getting cats a love, but fabric issues for me. I can't buy fabric and pattern. Yeah, but if you buy the other one from Chris, it's also fabric, pattern, and floss. Janine says, Fuzzy Wuzzy is very cute, but I would not be able to stitch all that brown. Brown is my least favorite color to stitch. I thought the same, and still I'm doing it. So if you love the project, you can do it. Renee says, I have no clear idea of the number of whips I have. I should figure it out. No, Renee, you don't. If you do that, you are screwed. Then everyone wants to know how many you have, and then they are saying it's too much. So if you do not know, you are safe. Susan says, oh, I showed my whip wheel on my floss tube episode today. It's smaller though than Casella. See, everyone has a color they don't want to stitch. I have green and I'm doing it. So I'm still stitching green. Janine says, I really want blooming whiskers. It is similar to the Cats I Love, but different too, and it's so colorful and fun. Blooming whiskers is fun. I was normally going to stitch on it next Friday, but I'm rethinking. Because, as you can see, this is not going fast on the live stream. And blooming whiskers is far more difficult. Not difficult, but more confetti. So I need my attention to it. Susan says brown is not my favorite. And I like sky stitching. I know I'm crazy. Yes, you are. I don't like it. And I have it on my library of dogs, and it's a shame. Yeah, but I mean about this one. This was really okay. But then if I'm stitching on blooming whiskers for a live stream, I will not have a lot done. I was doing all block stitching and still was making mistakes today. Lizzie says, I have started blooming whiskers, and the confetti and air stitching is hard to do for me. Yeah. Two. So that Nico hasn't come up on the rotation yet. Oh. And the fairy kiss had a lot more black than I realized when I bought it. Okay, Renee. But it's finished. You don't have to think about it anymore. And it's almost getting back home. So that's another thing. Snow stitching, Mandy? What's snow stitching? Ah, stitching snow. air stitching. Air stitching, snow stitching, we have all the stitching. Snow stitching is a challenge, says Rudy. Susan, if I do this right, I can get to all my whips in 2 weeks, but then today I only did one. If. See? If. If. Susan says, tomorrow I will stitch on my whip that only has 300 stitches left. Then I won't have to think about that one anymore. Good night, Marogia. For Stitches says, I'm stitching background on my lotus flowers. It's awful. With 1 or 2 stitches at a time. Oh, Renee. It melts when you stick it with the needle. Snow. Yeah. Oh. Really? 470. Green. Hi, Amanda. Welcome. The confetti and stuff like the borders on King Jacob's pieces are just so unnecessary. Sometimes I think we need to start charting the stuff we want to stitch ourselves. Because we all have things we don't like to do. So that would be a thing. I will take a bit of chocolate in between. I have hungry. Janine says, I have a Kim Jacobs piece. I have not started yet. Maybe someday. That's called a chart collector. Susan says, nah, I will stitch to converting charts. But, Susan, what is Valentine Nook? I read it all the time and I don't know what it is. Ah, okay. Okay. See? Valentine Nook. It's a mini. Yeah. Quick Stitches of Amy Stewart. And then they have 1 million stitches. the stair when she's at the piano. About that started it and was upset about all the browns. It's like I said in my floss tube video, sometimes it's just taking small steps towards the higher finish. Forest Stitches says, I really want to go to get back to my bountiful bookshelf and then start the museum bookshelf. I have the museum bookshelf, I didn't start it. I cannot have like 25 SNMCs. I already have 13. Janine says, see, you are a chart collector too. Who, me? I am. I admit. I am in the AS. The Anonymous Stitcher Club. Like the AA. So then I have to say, hi, I'm Ellen, and I have a cross-stitch chart collection that's huge. So I am a chart collector and a whip collector. Yeah. And then you are coming together in a group and all saying, I have so many charts. I even wouldn't know how many I have, but a lot. But then there are rules to get clean for the AA. So I don't know if there would be rules for the AS. So maybe is it how to get rid of projects? Oh no, then I'm scared to go. What would it be? Or how do you get more charts? Probably. So yeah, and the AA they have like the what was it, the coins? When they are so many times sober, so maybe we could get coins and like, oh, then I didn't buy any more charts for 5 months, so I get another coin. Janine says, rules would probably be no more charts till you finish what you have. No, that's a nightmare. No. That would be, no. Mandy Moran says, does anyone work with paper charts like the fancy ladies? Any advice how to navigate the different pages? I also have issues with that, so I cannot help you. I really wish I could, but Mandy, talk to Susan. She saved me. Really? Susan, what did you do? The AS, the Anonymous Stitching Club. The Anonymous Stitching Club. Imagine. Sometimes around the new year, you hear the things like I do not want to buy anything. I do not want to buy charts and that stuff. And I'm wondering, we will talk about next month that. So people and are all helping. Was it Amanda? No. Who did the question? Who asked the question? This is about Mr. Darcy. Paper charts, copies. Okay, this is going too fast. Ah, Mandy. Yes, of course. Thank you. Mandy asked the questions on how to work with the paper chart from Mirabilias. I like to zoom in on my charts and to enlarge the symbols. So with Mirabilias, I have one that I still have issues with. Because I ruined my fabric with milk. In fact, first with a highlighter, and then I tried to solve it, and then I had the stain of milk on it. But my hand-dyed fabric was, yeah, how would you say? I can maybe solve it, I don't know. So it's in the, how would I say it? In the temple of maybe? Temple of not knowing what to do? The Temple of Doom? Oh no, this is getting worse. I don't know. So, yeah. I don't know. Renee said, I've only stitched 103 stitches. I had to frog some at first. No, it's not really time out box for a stitcher. It's really like the Temple of Doom. Because it was my first Mirabilia. I bought all the stuff. Then I had the wrong color. No, I had one skein short for her hair. So one skein of floss short, but it was that, what was it? That special hand-dyed floss. Cut the, not caterpillar. Allez, the one with the variegated floss. So then I had to track it down. I found it. I paid a lot for that skein to get just the same dye. And then I started stitching on it. And I was outside stitching like a great girl. And then my son had touched the highlighter. It was open and it made a mark on my fabric. So what did I do? I tried, I will be smart and I will try to get it out. But then used the milk as was said. And now I have a stain. I thought, okay, it would dry and it will be fine. Because first I tried water. Yeah, it was Karen Water Lily. So then I tried first a bit of water, so I thought, okay, if it would fluctuate each other, that would not be that bad for the fabric. But then I had to use milk because it was still there, and now I have like an edge of a splash in the middle of my fabric. So I was going to just throw it away, but that fabric was like a custom fabric made by Kitty. I think it's out of business now, so I cannot buy it anymore. Plus it was one from England, so the UK, and it costed me over €50 for that fabric. So if I throw it away, it's like I did all the stitching and all the buying for nothing. Sadly enough. So that's why I put it just there on the shelf, waiting whatever will do. Then I was thinking maybe I can stitch further and I can cover the stain with the border because it's Lady of Mystery. So she has so the lady is in the middle, and then there is like it's not really a border. A bridge? No. Arcs? No, not arcs. An arch? Yeah, it's like an arch. So it's like an arch around her. It's not really round, but yeah, it's with trees. Potatoes. Now we're already about potatoes. Busy. This goes very fast. Janine, no, I didn't try to wash it, the whole fabric, because I stitched on it, and I was thinking if I wash it, then I will get all my dye out, and I will ruin the stitch piece. So that was the thing why I didn't do that. I just did the stain. Another thing I was considering was leaving out the arch that she has around her, but then I need to crop the fabric that much that I maybe not have enough to frame her. Really? Susan? Is it? If the dye comes out, they didn't dye the fabric floss right. It shouldn't come out. I have always heard you cannot wash a hand-dyed fabric. Echt? I'm shocked. So you can wash hand-dyed fabric? Rachel says some of the fabrics are not color fast. Do not wash it unless you're willing to take a chance on ruining it. See, you cannot wash most of them. Yeah, of course, I wouldn't wash it in a washing machine. Well, I did put milk and water on it, so it didn't. There is a stain, so. So, if I'm thinking this correct, I can try to wash her fabric. With the risk, it's ruined. But what I have now, something I cannot stitch. So in fact, I have nothing to lose. But not in a washing machine, of course. So just gentle with a little dish soap. Susan says it's a safety thing for them because some dye can come out, especially if they are using cheap dyes, which if they are professionals, they shouldn't using red dye. But what was the shop I bought it from? Oh, it's something with Kitty. Not Kitty Heaven, not the whip. It's really Kitty in the UK. I have asked this issue of asked this issue with the fabric a lot. Even in my whip parade, I have never had an answer on that. And people say you cannot wash hand dyed fabrics. So I thought, okay, it came over. Or try to find a way to work around it. And now this is insane. Totally wrong. And would I use warm water or cold water? Maybe that's also a thing I need to know. Lady says, well, it's getting late. I need to sort my day out for tomorrow and then read. So I will be going in about 10 minutes. Yeah, it's already midnight here. I also have to go get up early tomorrow. I have to drive. Cold water. Susan says it might fade a bit if they didn't set it right. But it did fade with my milk. If it was wool, I would say boiling hot. Cold for protein stains. Yeah. I will try tomorrow. I will let you know. Well, the what was it? The water lilies one wasn't color fast. The Caron water lilies isn't color. It's saying on their tag it isn't color fast. So we will see. If I get a mess, it's done. Then I don't have to think about it anymore. Then it's like game over. But I can give it a chance and see what I get. I don't think. Is it silk? I don't know. It's hand dye floss, so I would say it's cotton. Rachel says I have to go do my homework for my stock stuff. Okay. Have fun. Thank you for being here, and see you next time. Oh, I'm really a shock. I really am. I have so much. I really asking this for years. I didn't know. Skin test said I would put it stitched side down on a towel or something and dab at the stain from the other side with cold water. The part where the stain is, there isn't stitching yet. So let's see, this is the fabric. In the middle I started the dress of the lady and a bit of her hair, and then here, so let's say that's the lady, here I have the stain, but there's nothing stitched, so it's just fabric. So I tried with cold water to get that highlighter out. That didn't work. Then I tried a bit with milk, and it's like an edge of a stain. The color of the fabric is softer. Yep, the milk get the highlighter out. That was gone. That was a good thing. She says the other thing is that if you wash the whole thing and it does fade, it will be even. Yeah, that was thinking. And the colors are like not gray or something. She has yellow pink background, soft like pastel. But I think I used that water and dish soap. The first one I tried to get the highlighter out. That didn't work, and then I started to try the milk. Very down, I don't know. It's I have dish soap. Very in the UK and down in the US. we have draft, D-R-E-F-T. Maybe I have to send you a message tomorrow, Susan, to get some help with my fabric. Then I was thinking, just do the whole thing and see what's left over. Susan says laundry soap has enzymes, which if you were washing wool, it would be a no-no. But since it's cotton and the milk stain is a protein, the enzyme should help. So laundry soap, not dish soap. I wash raw wool with dish soap and boiling water. Yeah. Ah, okay, dish soap. Okay. Yeah, apparently it is a whole science. Never thought about that. But since you have cotton, the enzymes wouldn't hurt the fabric like it would if the fabric was wool. Ah, okay. If the floss is silk, then absolutely don't want laundry soap. I'm thinking if I have used it. I think so. In her dress. I was thinking like 5 minutes to try it, but 15 is already long. So when I have washed it, so I would lay it in my water with my dish soap. Then I need to hang it outside to get it dry, or do I lay it on towels, or what do I do then? When I normally wash my finished whips, then I lay it flat in my sink. It's not a big piece then. Do not rub it, just leave it like a leaf layout. Then stick it there for 50 minutes. And then I have a clean towel next to it and on top of it, and I'm just rolling it. So it's drying. I wouldn't put it outside, just hang it up so it will dry straight. But outside it's warmer, it will get easier to dry. Inside it's cold. The rolling method, is that what you would do? Yeah, okay. The thing I'm used to do. To get it to dry out a bit, and you could lay it on a dry towel after. Yeah, no, that's fine. I know what you mean. It helps, thank you. I will let you know what happened to it. So I will give you an update. So maybe it's a yes or no. So Lizzie says, well, tomorrow is all set, so going to read some Pride and Prejudice fan fiction, then go to sleep. Good night, everyone. Good night, Lizzie. She says, I have some hand-dyed fabric. I have one of my projects, and those heat remove pens really left marks, so that's not good. No, it isn't. I have some issues with that too. I have a... Was it a hand-dyed? No, it's a printed fabric. And I used heated pens, and it's also not getting out. But I didn't use the blow dryer yet. Yeah, it was a friction pen for me. And it was not a hand-dyed fabric, it was one like the vintage country mochas from Zweigart. I started a dragon without background on it, so I wanted to set my grid on it, and it doesn't remove. It doesn't get up. Look who's here! See? Raja! Did you see him? it's freaky. He's staring at me with his light eyes. Huh. Oh. Mm. Raja, come. Raja, come. 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 Raja. Oh, beautiful boy. Yeah, he's here. He's sitting on my lap now. Yeah, maybe he was feeling one day off. I don't know. I hope he will be better tomorrow. He's purring. Yeah. Can I show it? I can maybe. He's here. Look, he's here. He's looking so fragile. I don't know if that means he will be feeling better, because last time he was always at my lap and he was not feeling better, so. And the way how he purrs is also meaning it's not well. But he was playing hide and seek all day, so. Yeah, maybe he's asking me to help him. That's another thing. Hmm? That's another thing, maybe. I'm also like not yeah, maybe I can try. What was I going to say? I forgot. Thing is, I cannot reach the mat. It's behind me. I was going to say I'm like not ready to let him go, but we will see how it evolves. It was on the other side, I guess. I'm trying to reach his mat. No, I cannot reach it. And if I move, he will be gone. That's another thing. How can I do it? So I think I will close the live stream now, and I will try to give him medication for his pain. So I was now at 23,403 stitches out of 137,600, and I reached 17.01%. So that's a good thing. It's a new milestone. And I have now 338 stitches done. So I still need 200-ish. Oh, that's great of you, Susan. Yeah, I will try to get the help for him. We will see how Raja is doing. I still have somewhere antibiotics and I didn't find them yet. So I need to search that too so I can give it to him. So, yeah. So I want to thank everyone who stepped by for joining me and to have this nice chat. And I hope to see you again next Friday. But then I have my husband with me. So it's again the stitching club. It will be around the same time. So good night. Yeah. Also, it's a live stream tomorrow from Suzanne. So I will let you know how it went with my fabric. Thanks for the advice. Oh, stitching club. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. So, good night, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you are. Bye-bye.